Master frequency, filter focus. So look at this way. So here I am with my eyes, my nose, okay, my ears, and it's like this, and I look at everything. But do you know that I don't look at what I don't want in my life? I'm not going to focus on that, what I don't want. I'm going to focus on that, what I do want. When you focus on what you don't want, you get what you don't want. And if you don't get what you don't want, you're still not going to get what you do want. And if you don't focus on anything, then you're rolling the dice, and sometimes you're going to get what you want, but you're not going to get what you do want. You're only going to get it sometimes. Well, you know, sometimes things go good for me, but then I'm not telling you that things go for me 100% of the day, all the time. What I'm trying to tell you is this: I stay in the present moment, and I'm not reactive. I take action. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. All right, so everything comes down and focuses in, and all the information that comes into you, if you don't process it through your heart and only through your mind, and on the right side we have the lion side, on the left side we have the ox side, and if you don't process through the lion side, right, then what you're going to do is you're going to repeat the same thing over and over again. And this is what we teach in our Braveheart training and when you want to become a whole life coach. All right? Okay, so an unconscious creator is not knowing what he wants, so he'll never get his order, will he? So, you know what? Do you know how many people come here and I go, do you know what you really want? What you really want. Not what your family wants. What do you really want? What is going to make you happy? What is going to make you blossom? What is going to make you feel like living here is the greatest thing that could have ever happened, and thank God I'm here, and it doesn't matter about all the wars and the chaos and the so-called starving people and the end of times. You need to be here right now in the present moment. This is about your story, about your life, and about you having fun and enjoying it. You know what? You are allowed to do that. And I don't really know about you, but I've never ever found a time in my life where I suffered and I got paid for it. Okay? I'll tell you what I did do. I did pay for it. I paid for it big time. Paid for it in my business, paid for it in my relationship, and I paid for it in my health. So when it's all said and done, if you're in a family that believes in suffering, oops. Okay. Anyways, we need to drink light, eat light, think light, live light. We need to be the light. You have 85 trillion cells, 85 trillion batteries. What you think charges them up. What you eat charges them up. What you drink charges them up. The way you live charges you up. Okay, so you'll know when you're emotionally not doing so hot, because you'll have a bag of chips or you'll have a big bucket of ice cream instead of doing some nice gentle exercise every day. Oh, and the other thing too, people that go, yeah, but I exercise, you know, I do CrossFit training, you know, and that's where you go hardcore training stuff, right? Well, that's people that have, are you ready for this? That's a dysfunctional belief too, because that's very abusive on the body. Anybody that does marathon running, they're looking for an adrenaline rush. They're adrenaline junkies. And they're also, you know what? I'll go down and I'll see the runners here, and you'll see they'll be running and you'll see some of them limping. They'll still run because they believe they have to push through the pain. That's their model, right? I will tell you that the body was never meant for this. It's called abuse. So it's called self-abusive exercise, because exercise is supposed to be enjoyable and it's okay to get your heart rate up. But when you push hard and you're really sore the next day, it's not healthy. You can get away with it when you're young, but not when you're older. So, you know, it's what you put in your mind and it's what you put in your mouth and how you process. Do you process through your heart? That's going to make the difference. Okay? So high frequency, when two people come together, because that's it. Teamwork makes the dream work. They can actually produce a baby. You know what? When you are suffering, do you know how many people will have somebody in the family die, and they will die even of old age, and then that person will get a diagnosis from 6 months to 2 years later with cancer? Or, you know what? If you're going to talk about how bad your life is, and you're going to if you're sick and you're focusing on the sickness and you're scared of dying and that's why you're doing your health program, well, that's not going to be a good turnout for you, okay? You need to focus where you want to be, and you need to learn how to become a brave heart, because you cannot get yourself well with dysfunctional beliefs and think you're going to heal. I don't care how much money you spend, how many different doctors you go to, but understand this: love is the answer, self-love will be the cure. Now, when I say that, I know some of you are going, that is so self-centered. No, that's called centered in the self. No, Darrell, that is being selfish. And I'm saying no. When somebody tells you you're being selfish, they're telling you they want you to live their life. And I'm not telling you not to love your family. I'm telling you to fill your heart up with love, so you're not demanding that they fill your heart up so that you end up feeling empty and depressed and on depressive drugs. I have somebody right now that's here, and they're in my condo, and they're here for emotional training and for deep tissue training, and she's on so many drugs, she's walking around like a zombie because she has to take these drugs because she believes that she doesn't deserve to live. Now, who did that to her? Did she do it to herself? No. The herd did it to her. The majority of the population did it to her. Let me tell you something. You can walk down the street and have your leg falling off, and nobody's going to ask you if they can help you, and nobody's going to come and do it. You can be like in terrible pain and crying in the house, and your family doesn't even know how to help you. You can be suffering on this planet, and nobody gives a crap. Oh, wait a minute. They do, though, don't they? They suffer with you. But are they able to take action? Are they able? No, they can't, because the majority of the population doesn't know about self-love, doesn't know about, and if you don't have self-love, what value do you have? So if I don't have self-love and I don't have value, how am I going to give it to her? How am I going to give it to him? How am I going to give it to my family? We're at a crisis point here. This is why I put on my website that we offer a money-back guarantee that we'll do more changes for somebody in one day, whether it's our deep tissue and somebody's already booked for knee surgery or shoulder surgery or back surgery, and that they won't even go to surgery. Oh yeah, but the doctor said there's no other way. Well, of course, he only sells drugs and he's got a knife in his hand, for God's sakes. And the other thing is that natural health practitioners don't even recognize scar tissue. Meanwhile, look at everybody limping. They go from limping to a cane to a walker to a wheelchair to the nursing home, and that's the story. And I'm telling you right now, we can stop the whole thing. Okay. The spirit of creation. So as soon as you get here, your parents are totally in love with you. You could do no wrong. And they can smell it. They can smell the essence of God. That's the pure spirit in here. This baby loves itself so much, and it loves how everybody else loves it. And what they're doing is this baby is not taking on their love. This baby is just getting the recognition that it's okay to totally love yourself. But only when you're a baby. Because when you start to walk, and you start to talk, that's when you start getting spanked, because you start acting like mommy and daddy. When you start acting like mommy and daddy because mommy and daddy don't like themselves too much, you're going to get spanked, or you're going to be told to go to your room, or mommy's not going to love you if you do that again. So now you realize that mommy will only give you her love if you do what she tells you to do. And meanwhile, you thought you were a free spirit. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? Okay, so then they hold your love ransom. Listen, I'll tell you something. I can remember, and I've told this story before. It was my mother, my brother, and then me and my other brother, and President Kennedy had died. We're all standing there, and there's a minute of silence. And guess what happens? My mother's crying, and I look up at her and I go, and I'm 7 years old. Mom, why are you crying? We don't even know the guy. Slapped me right in the face, fell on the floor. Right then I knew that if I didn't suffer more than my mother did, or as much as she did when she does suffer, I know what I'm getting. So guess what? I was introduced into the family curse. And then another 2 years later, what happened? The neighbor said I broke his cherry tree. So then they came home 11 o'clock at night, pulled me out of bed, pulled my pajamas down, right, and spanked me in front of our boarders. that were staying there, that were living there. And right when, guess what I knew? This home is not safe. My parents are not safe. They do not love me only if I do what they tell me to do. I am no more than a pet. And then I realized that the only people that are my friends, not my parents. But that's because parents are dysfunctional, because parents had parents that were dysfunctional. And that's how we pass on the family curse. So, you know, some people aren't going to like this, but guess what? I sat my kids down when they were young and I said, listen, forgive me, because the dysfunction and the suffering that you have, I gave that to you. But I'm here right now and I'm going to be here for you no matter what you've done or what you're ever going to do in the rest of your life. I forgive you for everything. And you can tell me anything and I will never get mad at you again, and I never have. I say we will talk about it, discuss it, why you did it, will you do it again, and what the consequences are. And guess what? That's what you call a healthy relationship. You know, what is this? Spare the rod, spoil the child. Where the heck did that come from? You know, I don't remember the last time that I was loved and I got spoiled. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So look how love grows from, oh, I love you. She's rubbing. Look at this. It's okay for this guy here to look in the mirror and just think he's the world and everything. Okay. Right down here, the same thing. But guess what? By the time you're a teenager, you hate yourself because you can't look in the mirror on the way out the door, or else you're self-centered, centered in the self. Hey, things are a little bit screwed up. So really, what we should do is we should give our kids a guideline. So you're allowed to totally love yourself until you start to walk and talk. And then when you become a teenager, we don't want you to love yourself at all. And you know what? There'll be people out there saying right now, wow, you know what? I think he's angry. No, you forgot what I told you. I'm talking to your subconscious. It's 10,000 times more stronger than your conscious mind. And the other thing is that you forgot what I told you earlier. Some of you aren't even going to probably like me, because my beliefs don't match yours. But don't throw them in the garbage. Put them on the shelf, because guess what? Did you ever say, I'll never do that, I'll never change, I'll never buy that, I'll never go there? You might, because guess what? Everybody lies, and we've been lied to since the very beginning. I lie every day. I tell myself I'm amazing. I tell myself that I already have what I want. I already tell myself that I've gone global, and that we're sharing the word with everyone, and that we're making a huge difference in every country in the world. So I guess I am a bit of a liar, aren't I? So I guess we just got to choose our lies that are empowering, because you've got to believe it before you achieve it. And remember, if you're not willing to repeat it, then you're never going to get it. Look at an Olympian. An Olympian practices every day. Do you practice love every day? Do you practice health every day? Do you practice being a brave heart warrior every day? So here she is. No more going home, man. Her love is going into this first guy. That's her boyfriend. She's never been in so much love in all her life. And then all of a sudden, because boys will be boys, right? Find them, get them, leave them. Now look at her. Because guess why? Because we never taught her to self-love, self-protect, self-respect herself. So now she's got an empty shell. She feels like hell, and she feels like she doesn't want to be here anymore because she has no value, because she has an empty heart, because we've never taught her to fill her own heart up. Because if we teach our children to fill their own heart up, and they respect and honor themselves, they're not going to get into drugs. They're not going to get into drinking alcohol and consuming their life. They're not going to smoke themselves to death. And they're definitely not going to hang around with people that abuse them. But if they've been abused unconsciously by their parents, then they're basically going to look for people in their lives to continually keep the family curse going. So empty hearts need filling continually. So you don't love me anymore. You don't give me enough attention anymore. You used to love me. Well, because you know what? It's really exhausting filling your heart up. It's exhausting holding somebody else up all the time. Nobody can do it. You know what? You're going to be alive forever. You're infinite. You better get to like yourself. You better get to totally love yourself because you got a lot of trips. You've got infinite trips for eternity to be on. So you might as well embrace yourself right now and get over it. Okay, so family victimitis. So tell me that this is what happens to families, right? He's depressed, on drugs. Mom gets one child, he gets the other child. She doesn't know how to help him, right? And he's so depressed. None of this has to happen. They're all beautiful, beautiful people with dysfunctional belief systems. When one suffers, we all suffer. That's what families do. Sin equals guilt equals judgment equals jail. The definition of a sin is missing the mark. Don't confuse a mistake with a sin. Listen, I make 100 mistakes every day, but I also am a very successful health practitioner. I make 100 mistakes a day, but I also have the respect and the love of my children. I also make 100 mistakes a day, but I also can sleep at night because I know it's normal to make 100 mistakes. When I came to this planet, I didn't get a manual. Oh, I did. I got a broken one from the medical system. Oh, wait a minute, from the dental system. Oh, wait a minute, from the schooling system. Oh, wait a minute, from my parents. I think I'm doing a crackerjack job. And guess what? I'm already off the hook. And I'm already amazing. And you know what? I'm going to make another 100 mistakes tomorrow, and I don't need your approval. And I'm not going to take it personal. Because this whole thing is just a game. And don't think that life is going to change. Don't think that man is going to stop fighting wars. Don't think that starvation is going to stop because it's man-made and it's run by corporations. Just look after your home. Make it into a health-free love zone. Start thinking about yourself. Start thinking about those around you and how your life might be affecting theirs. So, guilt trip. I hope it's a round trip. So, like I said, in some families, if something happens, that's it for the week. Nobody talks. You're punished for the week. In some families, you're off the hook. In some families, you lose the keys to the car. So we got all our own ways of punishment. But you know, what we need to do is we need to talk to each other from a loving point of view, but we need to hold the line. You know what? If you respect yourself, if you honor yourself, then others will do that for you, okay? I have so many women that come to me and they say, once I've done your Braveheart course, I didn't realize it, but I was the family rug. I was the family servant. And now that the first time in my life, I'm honoring that little girl and I'm rising up from the ashes and I'm releasing the goddess within, and my husband and my kids are just trying to stop me. And I said, well, of course they are. You know, if it doesn't work out for you there, come be a servant at our house. Okay, the poison pill. Are you going to start observing people, or are you going to judge them? Are you going to judge other people with different religions, different creeds, different colors? Are you going to judge people that because they have different shapes or they have different things that are going on in their life? Or are you going to observe? Because it's okay to observe and say, I'd like some of that, but I don't want that. But remember, if you're going to observe, don't observe what you don't want too long. Observe only what you want, and I promise you, you will have it. This is written. This is universal law. So, pain body programs. We talked about that. Every family has them. Corrupted emotions cannot be digested, so they must be stored in the tissues that match the same energy. Okay? So remember that all families have different pain programs. Go home, get a calendar, and every time that somebody has an emotional crisis, I want you to write it down. Jimmy had an emotional crisis for 5 minutes at 3:15 on Wednesday. And then I want you to do that with everybody in the family, and within 30 days, you'll go, oh my gosh, we're robots. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, it's almost right to the time, and he's doing the same thing all the time. And it's the same thing that sets him off. And then he's set off for 3 days, or he's set off for 3 hours. And then Jennifer, she goes in her room for 3 days, or she has a tantrum and slams the door. Everybody's got their system, don't they? All right. All right, so both emotions are triggered by the same hormone release. We talked about that. So If you don't watch it, you're going to go to anxiety or you're going to go to excitement. So when you start to get nervous, I go like this. When I start to feel any fear, I just go, I got this. I got this. If it's a phone call, I'll make it. If I need to talk to someone, I'll calm down first. Then I'll go and I'll talk to them and I go, listen, I love you. And I know that our relationship has been like rough for a long time, but I don't want that anymore. I want a loving relationship. And the next time that we start to argue or fight, I don't even want to talk about what the problem is. I want you to come. I want us to hug. I want us to melt together our hearts. And when we both feel like our hearts are melted together, let's step back. And guess what? There won't be a fight there. You're actually not trying to figure out a problem. You're actually just trying to serve a belief system and a program that you've been running for too long. Okay. All right. Subconscious mind never speaks to the conscious mind. We talked about that. So you're going to have to repeat thousands of times with passion and purpose what you want in your life. The key to peak performance is repetition. We talked about that. If you're not willing to repeat, so listen, do you want to be insanely happy or insanely miserable? So if you want to be insanely happy, then get insane and repeat something over and over again until you feel it in your heart and it comes up through your mind, through the lion side of your brain, and I promise you, you will own it. And once you own it, it's yours. You know, things get easier, but I will tell you, when you start to change and you want to release that brave heart within, your family will try to knock the legs out from you because it's comfort in numbers. They will think that you're leaving the herd. And when you leave the herd, you could get hurt. So you're going to have to learn how to be a braveheart warrior and not judge them, but just speak softly but with authority and say, this is who I am. I'm going to honor myself. Erase, replace. That's all you got to do. You know, you're like a computer, but we can't pull out the program, so you're going to have to erase and replace. All right? So it's a matter of winning. It's not a matter of winning or losing. It's a matter of knowing how to play the game. Planet Earth, the golden rule. Until you trust, honor, respect, protect, and love yourself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else on this planet, you will not be connected to Source, God, Creator, and you will fall backward. We want to fall forward. It's okay to fall. Dust yourself off. You can do this. So, okay. Heart, brain, body connection. That's what I've been talking about here all day. And every time you feel like you're in crisis, please, just do this. Nobody's going to know what you're doing. They're going to think you're having a heart attack. Just put your hand over your heart. You don't have to do it in prayer mode if you want, but I put it in prayer mode every morning. But if you don't want to do that, just put your hand over your heart in public. You need to only do that 3 times, and I'm telling you, you're gonna avert the crisis, and you're going to not release the hormones that are going to create the inflammation, the pain, the scar tissue formation, the stiffness. Okay? So if you can't process emotion, the emotion gets lodged inside of yourself. So open and fill your heart first to free your mind. So become a phantom lion, a brave heart, a king of the jungle. All right? Or a queen of the jungle. Okay? All right, every family just needs one hero. One hero. That means to be a hero means you're not picking them up. That means that if you're a hero, you become the light to get them out of the darkness, to show them the way, that there's a better way, that we can end the personal suffering. We can end the family curse. Bring health home. Bring love home. This is all you need to be concerned with. Your castle. You do not need to be concerned with anything outside your home. If you do not concern yourself with anything else except what's inside inside your heart, then inside your home, you will have helped this planet more than anybody else, because it's the ripple effect. So, the family curse. If love is the answer, then self-love is the cure. You're never too old to learn. You're never too old to love yourself. You're never too old to be young again, to have flexibility. You don't have to become so stiff. Oh, wait a minute here. Oh, did I just say something? The older you get, the stiffer you get, or the stiffer you get with your belief systems, the stiffer you get in your body until you're the cane, the walker, the wheelchair, the nursing home. I used to be able to do that, but I can't do that anymore. Well, why don't you just open your mind and let go what needs to be let go and find what needs to be found? Okay, so self-care is the only health care. Self-love is the answer to self-realization. And that's it. So we are now at the end. If anybody has any questions, I will answer them. And, oh, just to let you know too, okay, if you want to call in, the number is 778-797-0024. And you'll see when I hang up the phone, you can call in. Only one person can call in at a time. And I will be answering any questions that come in as well. And the other thing I wanted to say is that at 6 o'clock today, I'm going on with Clayton Nolte. And everybody was sent an email. And I'm going to be talking about structured water and about how structured water actually heals the human body and how it's the only water to actually really drink. Okay? Hi, Lori.
Hi, Darrell.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
So here we go.
All right. First of all, Heather, who joined us on Facebook, said to say hello. Hi, Doc.
Hi, Heather.
Okay, I've got a question from, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Rayan. I am very worried about my kidney because there are 7 more calcium oxalate kidney stones in both my kidneys now. I have a few oxalate kidney stones. Is there a solution for that?
Well, there absolutely is a solution for it, but the solution is going to take us a few minutes. I would tell you to go onto my website and take a look at the perfect day emotionally, take a look at the perfect day nutritionally, and I will tell you that there's not a physical problem that doesn't have an emotional attachment to it. And the next thing I'd like to say is that the calcium is actually coming from your bones. It's not coming from your food. It's not coming from your nutritional. And it's coming from your bones because you are in fight or flight response all the time. Also, you're not drinking enough water. It's probably not structured water. You're not eating enough fresh and raw foods. And your bowels are probably not moving properly. If you're not having 3 good bowel movements a day, then the main portal system, which is the main immune system, is falling down and out. Okay? This is why we find that the pelvis is the root chakra or the energy area of the body. And what happens is when you reabsorb the waste from the large intestine, it's going to be processed. Used to be, the liver would try, but the liver gets overburdened, so it gets thrown onto the kidneys. And then when it gets thrown onto the kidneys, all that toxicity and acidity needs calcium. The calcium is being pulled from your bones to try to buffer down the acidity because you're not alkaline enough. And the reason why you're not alkaline enough is because you go into an anxious state too much. You haven't found your calm or your peace. And you also don't have a balanced system. And the other thing is you're worrying and probably dramatizing your issue. And I don't mean to say you're a drama queen. I'm not making fun of you. I'm trying to tell you that when we do not have correct information, we do not feel empowered. So then we go into the fear zone and then we make things worse than they really are because that's a cry for help. So I honor you in your search, but I will tell you that, guess what? This is not a big deal. We can fix it. You can fix it. We can help you. Thank you.
And if I might add something, you might want to get a consult ran. Dr. Wolfe gives fabulous consults. He'll build you the perfect day from the morning you wake up till your head hits the pillow.
And the thing is like yesterday, there was about 15 messages that came in, and now I only got to 3 of them today. But everybody out there knows I call back. Mm-hmm. So tomorrow I will get up in the morning and I will finish the rest of these messages before the end of Friday. So understand that I don't load my plate up and leave you hanging. And after a consultation, you have my personal business line direct for life. Unless I choose to change it. No, I'm kidding. But because if I can create the perfect day for you, you don't need me. And I can do that. It's not that difficult. I want to tell you something. We've been sucker punched. Everything that I know, I can teach an 8-year-old. And that is the God's truth. Okay.
Thanks, Rand. Question from Pauline. I have developed cracks on the corner of my mouth and dryness on the above and lower lips. I also have developed a big red spot eczema-like on the left side of face near the corner of the mouth. I have a healthy vegetarian diet and exercise. Could this be allergic reaction?
Well, the only allergic reaction that you're having is you're allergic to life. There is no such thing as an allergy. There is to like a toxic material, but no, you're allergic to life, which means you're suffering from autoimmune disease, which means that your immune system is coming down, being chipped away at. Okay, we know that you have a fungal problem. We know that you are short on essential fatty acids, and I'm sure you're not drinking enough water. It doesn't take me long. If I have a picture of a person and I can talk to him for just 3 minutes, I can tell you your story, and that's how that goes. And just know this, that there's not a problem that can't be solved. And just know this, that even when your doctor tells you that, oh, we can't do anything for you, go home, or we've tried everything, you should just thank your lucky stars and get on your knees and thank God that they released you from your prison, so that now that you can become and learn to be the master of your own body and heal yourself permanently, okay? Because you were sucker punched a long time ago. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for your question, Pauline. Here's a question from Joe. How would scar tissue in the kidney be broken up? Is that possible? Also, if a person is on medication, how would that person know when they should decrease or stop taking medications?
Well, basically what happens is, are you ready for this one? You actually forget to take them. Your body is the greatest healing mechanism in the world. And when you bring up your vibration would not be thinking, I need a drug. You'll forget to do your prescription. You'll forget to take your prescription. And because you'll be feeling so good, because you'll be playing with your children, and you'll be out doing the things you used to do, because you won't be all numbed out from the drug. Remember, drugs don't heal. They just suppress the pain so that you can get through for another day to give you something else. And the thing is understand something. I deal with people all the time that they say that their bladders will no longer work. They say that their bladders will no longer work. They say that they have only one kidney and the kidney's in trouble. And with doing the nutritional, the diet, and please don't forget who you are. You are an energy being, and what you think really matters. You can actually think yourself, laugh yourself, love yourself, smile yourself, breathe yourself well. And when we put these other things in here and we do the Wolfe deep tissue, look, why would I put on my website that it doesn't matter if it's a kidney problem or a heart problem, doesn't matter if it's a lung problem, deep tissue works on all. Even if it can't reach the organ, we can get around the areas of the organ to break down and eliminate, not break down, but pull apart and eliminate the fibroscar tissue that's actually strangling the organ. You know what? It just takes days, weeks. You know, it's a mess out there, all right? God love all the natural health practitioners, but if they're not recognizing that inflammation creates crystallization and scar tissue, I don't care what else they're doing. It's just going to continue to happen. Your body is made out of tissue. Why do you think it gets stiff? Why do you think it rots? Because of the scar tissue cutting off the circulation. Why do you think you have mutation? You have mutation because the oxygen levels drop in the tissues by more than 30% to 35%. So the cell doesn't want to die, so it's got to mutate into a cancer cell so it doesn't have to live on oxygen. Now, what if we were to get rid of all the crystallization, scar tissue, and fungus within the body? Well, there you go, eh? Isn't that the game? Okay.
Thanks, Joe. I have a comment from Sherry. I have been in therapy with an amazing spiritually connected therapist. He has taken 5 years to pound this into my head. Love and compassion begins with me. You are so right on the money, Dr. Wolfe.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
I have one more question from John.
Sure.
Any recommendations on an enlarged spleen to reduce swelling?
Well, we know that it's over-processing. We know what the spleen does. The spleen helps with purification of the blood. We know that the spleen also helps with, well, what do we need to do? Okay. So it's energy, and you better watch out for your spleen. You don't want to be picking on your spleen too much. But if your spleen's in trouble, you got, again, let's take a look at the diet. Let's take a look at the water intake, okay? Let's take a look at the bowels. Okay, I need everybody to get this. If you weren't backing up the waste, how would the blood get dirty, which would then beat up on the weakest link or the weakest organ? So if you're in charge from your mouth to your rectum, which is just a tube or a funnel, and it was all pure foods, and you cleansed your colon gently every day, then how would you have a problem in anywhere in your body unless you had an emotional belief system that was corrupted? So we need to always take a look at everything, and I'm sorry I can't give you a better answer, but I'd have to really take a look at your lifestyle. That's why what we do is when somebody wants an emotional counseling or a nutritional one, they send in a point form case history, and then I go through that with them, and then what we do is we send out what's called the perfect day, and it's a script. It's about 35 pages. They read it for a week and they look over it, and we also send another audio called Emotional Fit for Life, and they listen to that 6 to 12 times before we do the emotional counseling, and they also go through a 35-page script called 33-Day Awakening. So we prepare the person who's coming for the consult, and then we put it on we put it on an audio, we send it to you, and then you have my phone number, we tweak the protocol, and then we offer you a money-back guarantee. So, and the reason why I can do that is because your body is such a great healing machine. It's really got nothing to do with me. I just have to give you the proper guidance, and it does all the rest.
Thanks, John. Tracy on Facebook says, hello, Doc of Detox. Thank you for everything you do. Follow you always.
Thanks, Tracy. I know who you are, and I know where you live. And I hope you're having a beautiful day in Kitchener.
Do we have time for one more?
One more, and then we're shutting her down.
Okay.
Because in 25 minutes, I've got to be on with Clayton classroom.
Structured water. I've got a question from Connie. I broke my collarbone 2 years ago. Bad break at 60. Doc told me he doubted that I would heal and eventually need surgery. Well, I did heal fast and well, except I still have pain in my shoulder blade area down to my bicep area. I have been doing holistic therapies and it's better, but I want to completely heal. My gut tells me that I am carrying some emotional issues in that area too.
Well, here's the deal.
Deep tissue, well, one sec.
Okay.
Deep tissue therapy sounds like it might be my ticket. Can you expand more on that for me, please?
Okay, and then this will be the last one, but I just will tell you this, that you can emotionally get rid of a dysfunctional belief and do a lot of emotional healing, but guess what? It's not about that anymore sometimes. It's about the scar tissue. I tell you, go out and eat some beef jerky right now. Chew it. Put some moisture in it. See how long it takes to break down. And I will tell you this much. What's her name?
Connie.
Connie, how about 40 minutes and I'll have it gone? 40 minutes. Because guess what? Unless somebody knows how to take the fibrin apart, then how's the blood supply going to get in between all the fibers and the lymph supply going to get in there to soften it up, to carry the energy, to carry the transmission? So that's the deal. Look, I can tell you this much, and I've got testimonials on my website. There's more coming. a lady I did the other day when I was at a meditation center. She had a fibroid the size of an egg. Lori was there. It'll be up on my website. It took me about 13 minutes to actually bring the fibroid down to the size of probably just a pea. Now you say, how can you do that? Well, anybody can do it. It's just that people don't do it. Just because it's foreign doesn't mean it's not right. And just because it's foreign doesn't mean you have to kick it out of the country. You know, the thing is that the medical system have hidden the greatest secret of all. And the greatest secret of all is scar tissue. Because scar tissue doesn't show up in an x-ray, it doesn't exist. And because it's not recognized by most natural health therapists, it doesn't exist. And because they don't treat it, it doesn't exist. Well, I'm telling you that after the first treatment, if I don't get rid of 85% of the problem minimally, then you can have it for free. And I'm doing that not because we're hard up for business. I'm doing it because I'm telling you, until we recognize scar tissue, look, give me somebody limping for 5 years because of their knee or their hip and give me one treatment with them, and they're not going to leave here limping. That's the end of the story. And you know what? I have a gentleman that we're working on. He's in his 30s. He loves to drink. He loves to party. Okay? And he's been like disabled from a hip problem for, I think it's either 3 or 4 years. And Sage has been working on him. And he went to every therapy and every therapist that he could. And he spent 3 years, 3.5 years searching. And he hasn't quit searching. But guess what? I told him, I said, this is your last stop. And it is his last stop. When people come here, this is the last stop. Now look at, it'd be one thing if I was hiding in a basement telling people this, because who would care? But this is all over the YouTube. This is all over Facebook. Now, if I'm exaggerating this, my reputation is going to be done pretty fast. Now, it's not because I'm amazing. It's because your ability to heal is amazing when we get rid of the scar tissue, which is corrupted tissue, and we get rid of the corrupted emotions that you don't even know you have. So we don't even know we have these corrupted emotions or belief systems. We don't even know we have these corrupted tissues because we think it's normal to limp. I'm 61 years old, and I've got the body and the flexibility of a 20-year-old. Would you like to have that? Do you think I was blessed? Both of my parents died in their mid-50s of cancer. Now, does it look like I'm 61? Does it look like I've got cancer and I'm dying? So understand, when you're ready and you want to change your story, you are allowed to do that because you are the master of your reality. So why don't you just make a new reality that you were created by that which creates universes and that you are a creator? Yes.
So you could check out the deep tissue,
yeah,
but you could also check out the personal treatment and trainings on itioh.com.
And there's lots of videos, me showing how I do the deep tissue. And if you look on itioh.com, you will see countless chiropractors, naturopaths, housewives, steel workers, you name it, that have come and take our courses. And these are authentic testimonials. We've never ever had somebody give us a testimonial and say we're not going to put it up, because we're going to put it up. The reality is this: that which created all universes created everything to be simple, and that's what created all universes, created it for every man, woman, and child to learn. And if an 8-year-old can't understand it, it's a big fat lie. So that means that most of the information out there is a big fat lie. And so this is why you will find people going, I don't like that Dr. Wolfe. Well, yeah, because I should just keep my mouth shut, right? We shouldn't stand up for people. We shouldn't tell people that they're amazing. We shouldn't tell people that they don't need anyone. They just need to learn how to master their own bodies, and that they should be trained. If you're going from treatment to treatment, then you're being mistreated. And if you've been with somebody for 3 years for emotional stuff or for scar tissue work, then I need to tell you it's not working. So if your ruler is the average practitioner out there, then I guess you're on track. For me, I would have got over that a long time ago. We tell people that they will not be with us for more than 6 weeks to 3 months max. That's it. Because you are the everything.
Thanks, Connie. I have one last
Oh
question.
my gosh.
Just one. Okay, from Linda and Duluth. Any recommendations on the back of my tongue and white spots near my tonsils?
Well, they're pustules. And you can understand that it's from your digestive tract. Okay? Now, if it was me, I would do oil pulling. So look that up in my book if you want, Healthy to 100. And if it was me, what I would be doing is I'd be spraying the silver bullet spray in the back of my throat. And if it was me, I would we have what's called super cinnamon, lemon lift, and orange burst. And I'd be putting that in my drinking water, because when you drink it, the essential oils are going to go and run across your tongue and clean up the infection. And if it was me, I would be doing okay, listen, if everybody who's watching the show tonight isn't doing the daily cleansing tea each and every day, then you're not getting it. Your large intestine is the holy grail. Your bacteria are the smartest part of you, and I will prove that in many lectures to come, because your bacteria actually tell your brain what to do. And if you're not gently cleansing your large intestine every day, which is the holy grail, which is only spending over about $1 a day, then I don't really understand this thing, because 95% of all your physical ailments actually come from a mismanaged large intestine. And the other thing is, if I wanted to bury something that I didn't want anybody to know about me, or if I didn't like myself, or I had a dysfunctional belief, where would I hide it? I'd hide it in a manure pile. That would be in my large intestine. So we want to keep the circulation moving and clearing things out, because when you've got issues in your tissues, the issues that you have in your life will match the vibration of whatever it can find closest in your body. And so that's why things get worse and they don't get better until you start learning how to do the brave heart brain body connection process. So, gentle daily cleansing of the mind, gentle daily cleansing of the body, and honoring yourself is the first place to start. And did I talk about the lecture that's coming up already? Or did I remember that? Did I? Did I? Okay. So anyways, there's one coming up next month, right? August 2nd. And what is it? There's the test. You see how hard we're all working? Michigan. Don't worry. By the time it gets here, we'll make it up. It's nutrition from the inside out. And it's foods from the inside out, and it's therapies from the inside out. And we're going to go over some of our supplements, and we're going to tell you about what I would do if I was what I do and how I use our supplements, because I can't tell you how to use them. And then I will give you generalities of why and what they do for the body, and I'll tell you different external and internal therapies, exercise. We're kind of just going to wrap this stuff up for the summer, and then we're going to set you free so you can go out and play in your sandbox. Okay? Thanks for joining us. Have a beautiful night, and just know, if love's the answer, then self-love is the cure. And remember, the only health care is self-care. Good night now.
Good night, everyone.